Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Say Again with me, Amrita Tripathi. I do hope you've been enjoying the episodes this whole season. We've had some incredible guests on, so many insights, so many lessons learned, and we'll be sharing much more with you via our newsletter, where I will be sharing some of the highlights and what I think some of the best conversations have been this whole year. So look out for that. I'll drop a link in the show notes. Today, I'm going to do something a little bit different and give you a sneak peek into something that very few people have heard about. And I'm talking about my new novel, The Other Sister, which releases in early December of 2024. I've actually only done one reading so far, and I'm going to give you something a little bit more than that audience even got. So I hope you're excited about this because I'm definitely keen to know what you make of this new book. This is my third novel. As some of you know, I am an author. I've written fiction and co-authored several works of non-fiction as well, but I'm very excited and also equally nervous. So I will be sharing a little bit about what's been going on behind the scenes. But first, I'll do a very short reading for you in this episode. Let me know what you think. This is from chapter 1 because I don't want to do too many spoilers. Quick reading. It's not you, it's me. Life is short. Before you know it, time's up. Maya posts on her page, unable to resist the urge to perform the way social media loves and insists on. 22 likes, and 4 days later, she disappears, ghosting her friends and a new potential significant other. None of them knew that she was already on a time out, not till she announced it. But that just goes to show how much attention they were paying in real life. Maya's previous cryptic status update, "My best friend has left the building," by now has at least 55 likes. Most from people assuming this was some cool reference that they weren't aware of, hence a like to keep up, but not enough interest to probe further. She did get some individualized attention, the update having prompted 10 inquiries, 7 of which were on the site itself. Now, a couple of people WhatsApp Maya, and only one person thinks the post refers to her and is faintly annoyed at the implication. But Akira is that kind of girl. As people used to say when status updates were the norm, it's complicated. The thing is, Maya is going offline in no small part to avoid her self professed BFFs and the BS that passes for everyday social life in this great capital. None of them gets it, she thinks. None of them ever will, she has known, ever since the trauma that hit in high school. She herself, though, lost in a world of her own making, doesn't even realize that she's been looking for an exit, an escape, until she suddenly does. One person does the old fashioned thing and calls her on the phone, possibly because he's related to her, and probably because he knows that family ties need to be reinforced periodically, away from the virtual world we all prefer. In an unusual, dysfunctional family, there are no winners. But we aren't all losers either. And Maya's brother knows, has always known, that showing up is half the battle won. So that's actually the intro you get to this novel, The Other Sister. Chapter 2 is literally like one page or so of notes from a therapist's office, but I'm going to skip ahead and give you a sneak peek to chapter 3. And again, this is something that no one else has actually heard yet, so I hope you enjoy this. I hope it makes you curious enough to order the book when it comes out in early December. This is chapter 3, The Big D, The Little D, and a Timeout. It doesn't take Maya long to figure out where to go. It's a flat that she pretty much grew up in, after all. Chini Auntie is the best, she thinks, even though she'd never admit to any of her friends that she still enjoys coming to this pokey neighborhood every so often and being fussed over. Far from the heart of the city when they used to live here back in the day, it's come into its own now, especially with the metro emerging as a game changer. Maya wonders if her younger self will be surprised to know that flats here are selling for more than a couple of crores. Do her fancy friends even register money and the need to earn it? She stopped wondering on that front. Funny that. She's never really thought about money since that period when she didn't have enough. But just leaving the high-rolling life, not to mention some of her Chhatarpur farmhouse owning, "Are you in London this summer, darling?" friends a few years ago, has proven to be a very cash-friendly decision. She also knows that none of them will bother to come find her here, Trans Yamuna, or Yamuna Park, as a friend used to routinely mispronounce it years ago. So it's as good a hideout as any. Luckily, she's always had a standing invitation from her aunt. This place, her refuge, reminds her of the one good thing from a childhood riven by abandonment, which she doesn't remember too clearly, bullying, trauma, and death, which she can't forget. But more on that later. The one good thing was strong and powerful. It was unconditional love. And specifically, it came from one beacon of light as far as Maya is concerned. I actually love that relationship between Maya and Chini Auntie, but of course, there are layers and layers. That's the little reading I have for you. And I do hope that some of you will be able to join us as we launch and chat about this book, The Other Sister. Our first chat will be in Delhi on the 2nd of December at Kunzum Bookstore GK2. I'll be in conversation with the wonderful Deepanjana Pal, who's one of my early, early readers, of course. And I'll be at the Bangalore Lit Fest after that. We'll also be hopefully hitting you up in Mumbai and then the Jaipur Lit Fest, to name a few. So I hope to find some of you there. Would love to sign your copies, would love to have a conversation. We'll drop the pre-order link as well as soon as we have it in the show notes and description. And I'll share a little bit of the behind the scenes. You know, this book took me many years to write. I thought it would come out shortly after my second novel, The Sibious Knot, which was released back in 2015, so 9 years ago. But many things changed. Life, of course, happened. The pandemic happened, which impacted all of us, but also the plot of this book, because you can imagine someone deciding to go into isolation had a very different ring pre-pandemic and post-pandemic. In fact, in 2017, the year my father passed away, I actually had a lot to deal with, as you can imagine. But I also remember sending this manuscript out in a shape that, you know, it wasn't quite ready yet. I feel it was one of those things, and I write about this in the acknowledgements, where I probably wanted to have some sort of semblance of control in a year that I had none. The manuscript wasn't ready yet, but I did continue to work on it with my wonderful editor, Kartika VK, and you'll see the finished product very soon. As I said, I do hope my father is hovering somewhere and aware that he's the one I've dedicated this book to. And, he told me many, many years ago that he would read me when I hit 30,000 copies. So, here's looking at some of you. If you guys can make me hit that, I'm sure wherever he is, he'd be delighted. And I'd certainly be delighted to know that's even possible. I do hope, as I said, that some of you are interested in the book, but also we're kicking off a small group a writer's room, because of some interest from friends and acquaintances and such. You can check out some of the videos that I have up on my YouTube, and you can also drop me a note, and let's see where that leads us. But definitely looking forward to meeting some of you readers out there over the next few months, over the next few cities that we come to. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next week with another episode of Say Again.